welcome to my channel. My name is Nashika. For all the persons that haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, and for the persons that already subscribed, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. So today's video is going to be my labor and delivery story time. Yes, I have a 1-year-old. So in April of 2023, I found out that I was pregnant. I was 21 at the time, so yes, very much scared, very much unprepared, wasn't ready for a child, but yeah, we moved. Fast forward to January of 2024, probably like a week before, because I was due January 12th. A couple days moving to my due date, I started drinking the time leave tea. It is supposedly supposed to help induce labor. I wanted to have my son, a first-time mom. I was anxious. I wanted to meet my son. I did not want to go over my due date, so that's the reason why I was drinking the time leave tea. I drank it maybe like 2 or 3 times. I was doing squats because yes, baby needs to come out. I was 39 weeks thereabout, and I wasn't feeling anything. Nothing was happening. So I started doing some squats. I started watching YouTube videos on how to like induce labor naturally and stuff like that, because obviously the time leave tea wasn't working. So I had as I said earlier, my son was due January 12th. I think I had an appointment for January 9. No, it was the 10 or the 11th. Let me see. It was a day before my due date, so it would have to be the 11th. I had a doctor's appointment. That was the Thursday. I had a doctor's appointment the Thursday, I think, but it was a day before my due date, as I said earlier. I had a doctor's appointment. I had a really, really, really bad headache. Went to my doctor's appointment, and I had it was like a 9 or 10 o'clock appointment. I don't remember exactly the time that I had. Went to my doctor's appointment. I'm there. I'm waiting. There's nobody that's they called me in, took my blood pressure, all of that. And I'm there waiting for mad long, maybe like an hour. And at this point, I'm very, very impatient, because I'm nauseous. I have a headache. I just need to go home and sleep. So I talked to the lady that, always checks me out and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, I have a headache, stuff like that. She's like, okay, I'll put you in this room. She put me in a room. She tells me okay, take your clothes off. We're going to come and we're going to check you. I took my clothes off. Sorry. I took my clothes off, and I'm there laying in the room. Mind you, I was in the room for 30 or 45 minutes. No jokes. I was in the room for mad long with my clothes off, laying on my back. So I got up. I got mad. I put my clothes on, and I was like, I'm leaving, because I've been laying in the room and no one came to check me, and I don't feel good. They're like, okay, what's going on? I have a headache. I'm dizzy. I'm nauseous, and I just want to go home. They checked my blood pressure again. They said it's high. So I'm like, okay. So they said that they are not going to send me home. They're going to send me to the hospital, because I'm due tomorrow. My blood pressure is high. And during my pregnancy, I've had an issue of preeclampsia. That's what they call high blood pressure. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to the hospital. I'm not expecting that, okay, it's something that they're gonna keep me. I'm just going there because I have a headache and stuff like that. So I leave my doctor's appointment. My partner took me to the hospital. When I went there, they were like, they're asking you all these questions again. I came in with a paper. Y'all supposed to read the paper and know what's going on. I have to explain myself all over again. So I'm telling her I have a really bad headache. I could not keep my head up. I kept holding on my head on my partner's shoulder. Like, the headache was that bad. So I'm there waiting. You know, they take your insurance information and all of that stuff. So she's like, we're just waiting for a room for you so we could put you in a room. We don't have any rooms or any beds available for you right now. Yes, it happens at the hospitals, unfortunately. So I'm there waiting, unfortunately. Then a nurse comes back up to me and she's like, do you still have a headache? I'm like, yes, it's really, really bad. She said, okay, we're cleaning up a room. You should be able to go in a room shortly. So I said, okay. A couple minutes later, she came back. She said the room is ready. She brought me into the room. When I got in the room, they told me to, like, did they tell me to take my clothes off? I don't remember. I think they did. You know, the hospital nightgowns that they put you in? I think I had to put one of that on. And then when the nurse came back in, she strapped the little thing around my belly so she could check my baby's heart rate and all of that stuff, and to see if I was having contractions. So when she comes in and she does all of that, and then she's finished strapping me down and all of that, she's like, you don't feel that? I'm like, no. She's like, you're having a contraction. And I'm like, really? I felt something, but I didn't know, like, it's a contraction, because the way they tell you, like, once you get a contraction, you're gonna know it's a contraction. I'm expecting a contraction to be, like, really, really painful. I wasn't feeling anything. Like, I could feel something, but it wasn't that much of a severe pain for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm in pain. It's really serious. It's unbearable. So before she's even done checking me out, I get another contraction. And she's like, oh, these are coming pretty fast. Let me go get the doctor. So I asked her, I'm like, am I still gonna be able to go home today? She said, no, I do not think so, because you're due tomorrow, you have high blood pressure, and you're having contractions, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna speak to the doctor. I'm there waiting, and the contractions start getting closer and closer. Like, I could see them for the persons that actually have a child, they know what I'm talking about. The little monitor that they put beside you when, you know, they're listening to the baby's heart rate and stuff like that. Like, I could see the thing moving, and like every time I would get a contraction, like, I would know that, okay, that's a contraction. I wasn't feeling anything that was severe to be like, okay, yes, that's a contraction pain. And the doctor comes in and she's explaining everything to me, and she's like, we're not gonna send you home. What we're gonna do is we're gonna induce you, because your blood pressure is like really, really high and you're having contractions, just like the lady said earlier. So I'm like, okay. I'm in the room and the nurse comes in. She's gonna induce me. Like maybe like an hour later, she comes back in ready to start the induction. And I was nervous because I'm like, okay, I'm about to have this baby. Nervous, but at the same time, I could not wait to like see my son, like see the baby that I've been carrying around for 9 freaking months. Okay, so they start the induction process. They told my partner I told him, like, okay, just go get the car seat and my mommy bag and stuff like that, because we didn't bring anything, because I did not know that, okay, I would not be going home. So he left to get the stuff. When they were doing the induction, the first time they put the little balloon in, I think they were like, oh, you're doing really good, you're doing pretty good, you know, boosting me up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. I don't know what they did the second time. I started screaming, and when I'm like, it's really, girls, for the persons that have kids, for the persons that are gonna have kids, that induction is nothing to play about. Trust me, it was really painful. Like, I was in serious pain. And then I'm like, at first I was like, I'm not gonna take the epidural. Like, I went in there with a 50-50 mind of I might take it, I might not. It depends on how severe the pain is. So they're like, okay, were you thinking about taking the epidural? I'm like, yes. My partner is not there because they told him like, okay, he cannot be there. So after they induced me, they're giving me the epidural now. They told him like he cannot be there. So when they're giving me the epidural, I was already induced. I could not sit like all the way flat because of the balloon that they had put like down there. It was painful to sit flat. So she told me like I had to keep still. And I'm like, it's really, really painful. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. They had a nurse there. She was really, really nice. That nurse was nice. We'll get to the rest of it. She was like, okay, you could hold my hand. So I'm holding her hand while they're giving me the epidural. And mind you, I'm in pain. The thing that they put inside me is like killing me. So I'm squeezing her hand as hard as possible because I'm like, I'm in pain. I could feel when the lady was putting the epidural needle inside me. Like, I could feel everything. And I'm like, I could feel it. She's like, oh, you're not supposed to feel it. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm feeling it. Like, I can feel what you're doing. So after I told her like, okay, I can feel what you're doing, she's like, okay, I'm gonna have to remove the needle and put it back in because you're not supposed to feel it. I'm like, oh my God. Here we go again. So she put the needle back in and I still felt it when she was putting it back in. She said I'm not supposed to feel it, but I still felt it. After that, I fell asleep. When I woke up, I could not move my right leg. Like, my right leg was completely dead. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't lift my leg. When I was poking my leg like this, I couldn't feel it. They were like, oh, it's because you were laying on one side. So the epidural went to one side of your body. I'm like, okay, so now I'm laying on my back because I'm like, I need it to spread out because I have the epidural, but I'm feeling pain. You know the button that they give you where they told me like it controls the flow of my epidural. So if I'm in pain, I could press it. I'm pressing because I'm like, damn, I'm still in pain. My leg is numb. Like, what is going on? All right. I go back to sleep. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning. They come back to check me. They're like, okay, your water broke. I'm like, okay, yes. The baby's coming. In the morning, like around 7 or 8, I couldn't eat. So, you know, they told you can't eat. The only thing they give you is ice chips. So I come back. When they came back, they were like, we're going to put you in a bigger room because this room is too small. Like, the room was really, really small. Like, the nurses, like, they had to be, you know, turning to the side so they could pass each other. So they moved me to a bigger room. The room that I went in, they had the little baby thing all set up and stuff like that. So I'm like, yes, I'm about to have my baby. Getting all excited. Yes, I'm about to have my baby. I see the little thing that you can put the baby in. They have the towel all, like the little towels that they put in. The little blue and pink ones, like the unisex ones, they had those in. The room that they gave me was really, really big and nice. I'm like, okay, yes, I'm gonna have my baby today. That was Thursday. Friday was when they moved me to the room and stuff like that. Sorry. All day Friday, I'm in labor. At like 1 o'clock, they come and they check me. And they're like, oh, you're at 6 centimeters. I'm like, oh my God. 6 centimeters. You have to get to 9 in order to push that baby out. My pain starts getting worse. I'm pressing the thing that controls my epidural. Nothing's happening. I'm still in pain. I'm crying because I'm like, what is going on? I'm in a lot of pain. Like, can somebody do something? At this point, I'm like, okay, I sent my partner like, okay, can you call the nurse? I'm in a lot of pain. Please tell her I want a C-section. Like, I need a C-section at this point. Like, I cannot, this pain is too much. Just give me a C-section. Because why am I not dilating fast enough? I'm at 6 centimeters all day. Like, from morning till 1, I'm only at 6. When she came back, she's like, oh, no, we cannot give you like a C-section because we don't see any need for it right now. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. So at about 4 or some, I'm still there, I'm in pain, I'm falling asleep, I'm waking up back. I could not lay on my left side because every time I tried to lay on my left side, my baby's heart rate kept dropping. So they would come in and they would tell me like, oh, I cannot lay on my left side. And I was annoyed because the nurse that they gave me, she was like, oh, your baby's stubborn. When your baby comes out, I'm gonna slap him. Like, what are you talking about? She wasn't changing my bed pads at all. Like, I could not move. She kept telling me, oh, move up, do this, do that, sit up, move over your leg. I cannot do all of that. My right leg is dead. Like, it's heavy as I cannot lift the leg. It felt like there was somebody, like a big ass person sitting on my leg. Like, I could not move it. So why are you telling me to move my leg? So my partner came, he lifted my leg. He had to help to change my bed pads because the nurse wasn't doing her job. And when it was time for it to be changed again, he had to call her and like, hey, where are the bed pads? Her bed pads need to be changed. And he was changing the bed pads. So I'm vomiting, guys, like puking my guts out. Like, I vomited like 3 or 4 times before that baby came out. So I'm not eating, but I'm puking. I could not understand what was going on. And it was just water. It was just water. Just water kept coming out. But 4 o'clock, they came, they said I'm at like 7 or 8. Little boy, why are you doing this to your mom? Why don't you want to come out? Your mom wants to meet you. Come out. I'm there, still in pain, trying to press the thing, more epidural to come out. It's still not working. I'm screaming, I'm crying. I'm like, I'm in pain. The epidural is not working. They were like, oh, your epidural ran out. That's why you're in so much pain. Bitch, what? Excuse my language. Yeah, she's like, oh, your epidural ran out. That's why you're in so much pain. We refill it, but it's gonna take a while for it to start working or something like that. I'm like, okay, it doesn't make much sense, but you're the nurse, so let me give you the benefit of the doubt. 7 o'clock. Was it 7? I think so. I got to like 9 centimeters. I don't remember the exact time, but finally I got to 9 centimeter. Okay, it's time for the baby to come. I start pushing. The nurses come in. They start like, oh, push. They're like, okay, wait until you feel the pressure. That's the time you push. I'm there and I'm pushing. Nothing's happening. She tried to check me and she's like, oh, your baby head is not in the center, it's to the left. So she tells me to like turn on my side and push. I'm pushing from the left side, guys. I ain't never seen nothing like that before, but I had to turn on my left side like this, my leg up, and I'm pushing to get my son out. They stop and they're like, okay, we're gonna take a break, and because we don't want you to get too tired, and we're gonna come back. So I remember waking up and it was like 10 something. The nurses, they came back in and they were like, okay, we're gonna go again. Guys, I'm there and I'm pushing from 10 to like 1 something. So during that time period, while I'm pushing, she's like, the TV that was in front of me, like I could see my baby, like it was off, but I could see my baby's head through there. And they were like, oh, daddy, do you want to touch a baby's head? They were like, mom, do you want to touch a baby's? I'm like, oh my God, I just want the baby to come out. They were like, okay. The baby, my son's head went back in, like it came out and it went back in. Yes. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to start this all over again. Okay, cool. I'm pushing with everything that I have within me, because, okay, it's time for my baby to come out. And my baby's head comes out again. They were like, okay, we want you to push as hard as you can. Push as hard as you can. Y'all know. And I'm there and I'm pushing. Boom. I could feel when my son, I don't really know if it was the shoulders, but I felt when something wide came out. And then it was like, boosh. Like as soon as my son came out, the pain stopped. Like I don't know where the pain went, but as soon as he came out, there was no more pain. Like all my pain had stopped. Like I wasn't just in labor. Like everything stopped. So they put before they put him on me, I think they were, I don't remember exactly if they were trying to wipe him off or something. But when they put him like right here on my chest, and they were like, okay, they're gonna sew me up and stuff like that, because yes, your girl had to be sewed up. And when they were taking him from me, I realized that he had pooped right here. So if he had stayed in longer, you know what would have happened, because my water been broke since 4 a.m. and it's 1 in the morning and the baby just came out. So yes, lucky girl. My son comes out and, you know, they give me him to hold. My mommy now, they put the needle in to, you know, try to numb me a little bit. But the thing is, you could feel when they're putting the needle inside, but you don't feel when they're sewing you up, you know, to make sure that everything is like back together. That's not actually the end of the story, but this video is already at 22 minutes and I don't want it to get too long and drawn out. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys want a part 2, just let me know in the comment section, because after I had my son, I couldn't walk. Yes. But that's a story for part 2 if you guys decide that you want a part 2. And remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys. Let's try to get our subscribers up, likes up, comments. Comment down below and let me know if you want a part 2. And that's it for this video. Bye.